Okay, we're gonna make some bread. All right, so I've just got this, nice plastic bowl that I use to mix the bread in. I mean, really, why I use it is because that's all I need until I bake. So essentially, I just use some white flour. And I have a whole bunch of stuff on the counter here. You can use all kinds of different flour in the end. And I'll show you how that's done, but I put 1, 2, these are cups. 3, I'm gonna have to open up my other bag here because I need about 5 cups of white flour. I think I put 3 in, so this is 4. And 5. And you can use like specific bread flour, or you can use all-purpose flour. I mean, really doesn't make a huge amount of difference, at least what I found. Now, here comes the interesting part, because you can add anything at the last part here to make up the 6, right? So the 6 cups that you need. So you can put in, what I'll do is I'll put in some whole wheat. Actually, no, I won't put in whole wheat. I'll put in some of this, and I can't remember what it's called. It's just a different type of flour, but it's darker. And I'm going to put in like a 1/4 cup. It's really dark. And then I'm going to put in like a 1/4 cup of oats. So Quaker oats. That's kind of interesting. I'll put in a 1/4 cup of, I'll put in a 1/2 cup of that. And then I'll also, I use walnuts as well, but I ran out of walnuts, so I'll just use some flaxseed. And I'll put in 1/4 cup of flaxseed. That's it. That equals the 6 cups. And then I'll take some yeast. And I need about, I don't know, a couple of teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of yeast, not very much. So I take my 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons. So 1, 2, no sugar, but we do need salt. Salt's kind of important. It just tastes bland if you don't use, and you use the same amount of salt as you do to yeast. So you'll need 2 teaspoons. So 1, 2, and then what I do is I just mix it up with a whisk, like this. And you get this nice mixture. Now all you do is you put in the water. And I always have my recipe taped to the inside of the cupboard here. So it's 1.5 cups of water to 3 cups of flour. So in other words, I need 3 cups of water, right? So this is 2 right here. I just use normal water, not a big deal. You can, and I just dump it all in there, so that's 2. And then another 1. Then I just take a fork. And then I just mix it up. And it's really watery right now. but as you mix it up, it gets really super thick. And it starts to thicken pretty fast, and then you just make sure that all of the water and flour is mixed up, and it starts to kind of come together, starts to get tough, and then it starts to come together as one big kind of lump. And once it looks like that, it's all come together, then you're done. So you just scrape off the fork, and I just leave it in there. I put the lid on, and then you just leave it for the whole day, and it gets, you know, it starts to rise really slowly. By the end of the day, then about half of this thing will be full, and then I just stick it in the fridge. And I stick it in the fridge overnight. What I found is it goes in the fridge. Well, the reason it sits in the fridge is that the next day you just chop it in half and you separate them, and you put a little bit of flour in your hands and you put them in a nice little ball. But when it's cold, it doesn't spread out before you put it in the pan. And so we use these Dutch ovens. Right, these things here, and you put the lid on when you put the dough in, so that it creates the moisture inside. And what I use to put the dough on is the parchment paper. And parchment paper is kind of like wax paper, but it doesn't have wax on it. So I split the dough into two. Roll it up into a ball, put it on the parchment paper, and then, you know, cut a circle around it, and then I just take it and I plop it in there, because the oven needs to go on 450, and you need to heat the Dutch ovens up. And so you take them out, they're really super hot. You take the lid off, and then you just kind of drop the dough with the parchment paper in there, put the lid on, and put it back in. So 450 for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you then take the pan out, pull the top off, and then put it back in for another 10. And that works perfect. And then, before that, you roll it up into little balls, and you can cut it, you know, at the top. And what that does, and sprinkle some sesame seeds or whatever you want, salt on the top. What that does when you cut it is when it starts to bake, then it splits into these nice little, kind of has a nice little pattern on the top. Doesn't really affect the taste, but hey, that's it. That's it.